Hey guys, today's video is going to be a glowy summer makeup look, but we're also going to be testing out a lot of new makeup. This isn't really a full face first impressions because I don't have a full face to try, and there are some products that I had in mind when I thought of doing this type of makeup look that I obviously have already used in the past. So it's going to be a little bit of a mixture, if you will. If you're new here, hi, my name is Emily. If you enjoy beauty related content, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. Now I'm going to try and not ramble too much and get this show on the road. I do have some brushes I wanted to be trying today. The first is the little trio set we got here in BoxyCharm this past month, and then I also want to be testing out this BH Cosmetics Rose Quartz 9-piece brush set. Okay, so today we're going to start with our eyebrows. I usually do these off camera when I do makeup looks, but today I have an eyebrow pencil to try. This is from MAC Cosmetics. It is the Lingering Eyebrows. That is all it says. One thing I do think right off the bat is that it doesn't have a spoolie, and I do like my brow pencils to have spoolies on them, but luckily we got a spoolie brush here from Estetica from the BoxyCharm, not this past month but the month before that. So I'm just going to brush all of my brow hairs up. It's not quite as precise as the ABH Brow is, but it is kind of like that micro pencil style. The color is very warm for me. It's not really laying down the product that easily. It's quite a stiff pencil. Wow, the nub of this literally just broke off. Okay, well, we're off to a great start. I am not a fan of this far, that is for sure. I don't want to fill my brows in too much today. We're going for like a pretty, I don't know, like easy going, I guess, summer makeup look. So I think I'm going to leave them here. I mean, it's not the perfect brow, but I'm finding this really hard to work with. It's very, I don't know, it's not creamy at all. It literally just broke off. So I'm going to finish my other brow and then we'll move on to eyeshadow. Alright, jumping over to eyeshadow, I'm going to prime my lids with the Urban Decay Primer Potion. This is in my project pan, and every time I use this, I'm thinking, oh yeah, this is the end of this product. Like, I have to, squeeze so hard to get any product out of here, but it just keeps going. But this is a really great eyeshadow primer. Once I go through a few more, like besides this one that's in my project, I probably will consider repurchasing this because I really do like it a lot more than many of the others I have in my collection. Okay, now I'm going to go in with an eyeshadow crayon. This is the Laura Mercier Cavier Stick Eye Color in the shade Copper. I'm going to swatch this for you. This was in my Bought It Forgot It makeup that I have never used, and that was bought over a year ago. This was one of those products, and it is so beautiful. I have since used it and really loved it. Like, it didn't crease or anything, which I typically struggle with. But for a little bit of a dupe, these aren't exact dupes, but if you're looking for a more affordable option, or maybe you already have this in your collection, this is the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Kathleen Lights. I really love this too, but I mean, for the sake of the video, I'm going to use the Laura Mercier one. And the Laura Mercier one's a little more like metallic, and the ColourPop one, well, this says it's a pearlized finish. So there is a swatch of those two there. This here is the Laura Mercier, and this one on this side is Kathleen Lights by ColourPop. As you can see, they're very similar tones, and they're both like cream based products. To start, I'm just going to literally draw this across my lid. We will blend the edges in a minute, but this is going to be like an all over lid color. This is going to be a super simple summery look. We're not doing anything fancy here. Bring it right down to the lash line. I've left it out of my crease because I'm going to put a crease color there. And because I have slightly hooded eyes, if I bring a product like this up too far, it does transfer quite a bit, like almost to my brow bone. I don't mind if some shimmer gets in my crease, but when it starts to like drift all the way up to my eyebrow, that is something that I am not the biggest fan of. So I just messily put it across my lids. To blend that out, I'm going to be using this a little later, so I just thought I'd grab it right now. This is the Too Faced Cocoa Contour Kit, and I'm going to take this warm bronzer shade here. This is called Dark Cocoa. It's actually a little too dark and too warm for me to use on my face unless I'm really tan. So I'm going to take, this is the Moda Pro BMX 430 crease brush, another brush we got in BoxyCharm actually. And I'm just going to like messily put this in the crease, not too precise. We're not doing anything intricate, but we're using this as kind of a transition and also to blend out the Laura Mercier Cavier stick. Like so. Like I said, super, super simple. Across the upper lash line, I want to try this Jonteblu eyeliner pencil in dark brown, another product we received in BoxyCharm. This is only $5, so I really don't have high hopes. But I did want like a messy liner look. I mean, it's definitely not creamy. It's actually pretty stiff, which I find to be typical for wooden liners, but it's going over that shadow stick pretty well. Like, just wanted some definition on the lash line and to maybe smudge it out a little bit on the outer corners. Okay, we're going to come back to the eyes and finish those up once we have our face makeup down. So we're going to be trying out a new foundation today, so I'm going to be using primers that I'm really familiar with. I do that all the time. I don't really feel like doing a foundation first impression and first impression on a primer together really makes sense. So I'm going to start with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. This is almost gone. And then going in with the Benefit PoreFessional. Both these primers are in my project pan. The Benefit PoreFessional is not my favorite pore filling primer, but I really am trying to use it up this year. It's not something I will be repurchasing the full size. It does do a good job of like filling in the pores decently, but because my skin is like combo oily, leaning more towards oily in the summertime, I find it doesn't hold up the best through the day as my oils start coming through. I really try and push that in. I cannot put this on my nose or my chin at all, or else my foundation literally just like slides off. For foundation today, we're going to be trying out the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Healthy Luminous Makeup with SPF 20. I didn't realize that actually when I first bought it. That is awesome. I hauled this quite a while ago and if you watched my Shop My Stash or watched my Bought It Forgot It, I have a very extensive like makeup that needs to be tested drawer, and this just kind of got a little lost in there, so I haven't tried it yet. I have mine in the shade N12, which is soft ivory / classic ivory. I think this color is going to be pretty good for me. I'm going to take this on my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion sponge. The colors in the Lumi line I find are not as good as in the regular True Match line. Because I am pretty fair, they combine the first and second shade for the Lumi foundations, which made, I'm typically in their warm range, and this is way darker than the W12 shade, which would have been way too light for me. And then the next shade up, W3, would have been too dark for me. So I do want to say their shade range on the Lumi line is a little off compared to their other line. Drag this down a little bit. It really does have a very like healthy, luminous finish. I have it on my cheeks but not on my forehead yet. And I'm pretty happy with that color match. It's not like spot on, but it's not bad. I need some more. So that was just one pump of product. Now I'm going in with a second pump in order to do my forehead. See, it is a little light on my forehead, but my forehead got, you know, more sun than the rest of my face as it happens. Let me know if you want a first impressions follow-up similar to what Samantha March does. In about a month or so's time, she comes back with a video that gives full reviews on all of the products she tested. Because first impressions, although I really enjoy watching them, I don't necessarily buy a product based on a first impression. I like to hear a full review on it. So let me know if you want that. I would say this is a good medium coverage. I love the healthy look it has on my skin. It makes my skin look amazing. I'm really loving this so far, but I will have to see how it wears on my like combo oily skin throughout the day. If this breaks apart on me, it's going to be a no-go. I don't mind if a foundation gets pretty oily. I don't mind blotting and repowdering as long as it doesn't start to separate. Which I do sometimes get separation in here, like in the corner of my nose and across like the, not quite the apple, but you know what I mean, this area here on both sides. And then sometimes like in between my brows and up to my forehead that can happen with. So that was 2 full pumps. I did layer up a tiny bit on my cheeks over my acne scarring. It doesn't really build up with any more coverage in my opinion, but it also didn't cake up, so it's kind of smoothing over a lot of my texture, and because it has that like healthy luminous look, it's not emphasizing it, which matte foundations can definitely do. For concealer, I have the NYX HD Concealer in the shade CW2 Fair. A lot of people really love this concealer. Off to a great start. A lot of people really love this concealer. I bought it quite a while ago and have never used it. That's pretty light. Okay, not a lot of product came out on the wand. It kind of has a little bit of a peachy undertone, which I'm not saying is like a bad thing, it's just not really what I expected. It's like kind of yellowy but kind of peachy at the same time. I don't really understand. The undertone's a little strange to me, but let's see. I'm finding this mirror really hard to use. Can you see Wyatt threw it and broke it? So that's what, 7 years of bad luck for a 1-year-old. This definitely does not have a lot of coverage. You can still see the bluish tone of my dark circles right here. I don't typically like super full coverage concealers, but this is less coverage than even what I'm used to. I would call this like a light medium, but it blended out nicely. So I typically have creasing under the eyes no matter what I set with, what concealer I use. I have major lines under my eyes, and I think it's because I have such big eyes, like just that's my face, that I'm getting a lot of lines under my eyes. And it doesn't matter if I use like eye gel masks or a good eye cream, like it doesn't matter. So I'm not expecting miracles when it comes to creasing. I mean, if I end up looking 100, then it's going to be a no-go. It definitely doesn't have a lot of coverage though, but it looks nice. It's looking very bright. It is a little lighter than what I was expecting, but that's okay. To set it, I'm going to use my Too Faced Cocoa Contour Kit. I'm going to use this Luxie 660 Precision Foundation Brush. I'm taking light cocoa here to set. I love this powder. Does Too Faced sell this separately? Because in this palette I use these two shades. This isn't my favorite contour of all time, but I do get quite a bit of use out of it. But this under eye setting powder is my favorite. It's so brightening. It sets things so well. Like there's no tackiness, and I have a huge dent in that powder that I'm going to use up the whole thing, and I don't really want to buy this whole contour kit again for that one shade. Okay, so that is what the under eyes are looking like. It's actually looking pretty good. I like dusting this on the center of my forehead, down my nose, and on my chin, just to help brighten up things a little bit more. But I am going to set my whole face with the L'Oreal True Match powder in W2. This is also my project pan, and I have never hit pan on a powder, I don't think. I used to never use powder, like in high school and stuff, which is really stupid since I have like oily skin. I'm going to take this number 2 brush from BH. This is the powder slash blush brush. This is too big for my face for blush, I think, so I'm going to use this for powder and just lightly dust this. I don't want to take away too much of that healthy glow that we achieved with the L'Oreal Lumi foundation, but because I do have oily skin, my foundation needs to be set a little bit at least. I can't go with no powder at all. This brush is pretty soft. It's not quite the shape I prefer for a powder brush. It still has like a touch of a tacky finish, but I still have a little bit of that glow. So, feeling pretty good about that. Let's just finish off the face while we're here. Okay, for bronzer, I'm going to be testing out the Ciate London Bamboo Bronzer in Palm Island. I got this in Ipsy quite a while ago. Never used it because it's so tiny, but I was looking through my drawer like I said earlier, and I love the shade of this. This would be something that I would consider picking up the full size if I really like it and went through it. To test it, I'm going to use this giant brush because whatever. This is the number 1 large angled contour brush. It has a beautiful warmth to it though. Sorry if you can hear a lawnmower. I feel like every time I go to film a video, my neighbors decide it's a fabulous time to mow. That blends out beautifully. I love how big this brush is. I love that. This is a great color for me right now. I can't tell if this has a little bit of a glow to it as well, or if that's just like the foundation I have on, but my skin looks so healthy. I don't know how it looks on camera, like until I get it on my computer to edit, but in person my skin looks amazing. In the summer I don't always love super full coverage because it does start to feel pretty heavy. So although this is medium coverage, you can still see like all of my acne scarring. I think my skin looks awesome. For blush, I want to test out this BH Cosmetics Nude Blush 10 color blush palette. These are the shades here. Because we are super warm and bronzy, like golden coppery on the eyes, I think I'm going to go into one of these more neutral colors. So I think I'm going to go in with this shade, which is a really like warm, kind of a bronzer shade, but not really. And I think I'm actually going to mix it in with this like more peachy. It's kind of like peachy and rosy at the same time. I think I'm going to mix those two for today, just so it's still a little bit vibrant. It is a summer look after all, but I don't want it to clash with the eye look. I'm taking my Luxie 514 blush brush. These are quite powdery and very pigmented. Okay. I honestly was not expecting that from a BH blush. Mayday, mayday. If I'm honest, I was expecting these to be pretty, but not like that pigmented. So I'm taking my Real Techniques stipple brush and blending. You know what? It's more vibrant than I wanted, but now that I'm looking like way back there at my like big mirror, not just in my handheld mirror, it actually looks really nice. Like it's blended well. It's a little high for what I typically like, just because I had to blend it, you know, out so much, but I like it. If you watch my channel, I'm not the biggest like blush person. I love blush. I love different colors of blush, but I typically apply a small amount. And this is not a small amount. I think I look a little less like a clown now, and I actually kind of like the way it looks. So was not expecting that. These blushes are super pigmented. I had never even swatched them or anything. I'm really excited to play with more colors. Like I said, I mixed these two, this one and this one, to get this look here, and I kind of took a little bit of this one on this side to blend out the other colors a little bit, but really like that. This video is turning out to be very, very long. To highlight, I'm going to use Champagne Pop. I think that's going to really complement this eye look especially. And to do that, I'm going to take this number 3 brush from that BH kit, and this is the tapered highlight brush. And I'm going to take this highlight right on the tip of this brush and pop that right on the top of my cheekbones. This is very different to any highlight brush that I typically use, and I don't think I like it nearly as much. Let's try this one. This is also a tapered highlight brush. This is from Luxie, the 522, but this one is fanned out a little bit more compared to the BH one. You see the difference? I'm going to pick up a little bit more of Champagne Pop on this brush. Picked up a little bit too much. Yeah, I like the shape of this one a little better. I mean, sometimes it just comes down to your preferences, but also your face shape. I'm just taking the residual up above my brow and under my brow. I love Champagne Pop. Bam. All right, now before we finish up the eyes and the lips, I'm going to take my e.l.f. makeup mist and set, lock that all in. I don't really find that makes my makeup last, you know, all that much longer, but I like how it melts everything into my skin. My skin is looking so glowy and nice. Love Champagne Pop, especially in the summertime. I love all year round, but now we're going to finish up the eyes, and to do that, let's see. I'm going to run the Rimmel Nude eyeliner in my waterline to brighten things up. I'm back on this bandwagon, this train. I don't really know where I was going with that, but it just opens up your eyes and makes them look a little brighter. And then I'm going to take Dark Cocoa again from this Too Faced contour kit and run that on my lower lash line. Since I completely forgot to use really any of these BH eye brushes, I'm going to take the number 7, the Precision Crease Brush. It's you know, very tiny and precise, and pick up that Dark Cocoa shade and kind of messily run that on the lower lash line. Again, nothing needs to be too precise. This is kind of, you know, effortless type of look. Just to add a little bit of color. I find on myself, if I have a completely bare lower lash line, it looks a little off balanced. For mascara, I want to try this e.l.f. one. I hate that e.l.f. does not put the names of things on the packaging, but I believe this was like Define and something. I will try and find it on the website, and I'll have all the products listed down below anyways. It smells really cheap. I'm not sure what I was expecting, but it has this very small, skinny plastic bristle wand. Let's see. I typically prefer natural bristle wands. Okay. It's nice and black. I mean, it's not doing anything crazy for me. It really is defining and lengthening my lashes. It is not clumpy whatsoever. My lower lashes are looking very long. I'm gonna finish things off with this OFRA liquid lipstick in the shade Verona. We got this in BoxyCharm. I already know that I really love the formula of OFRA liquid lipsticks, but I want to try this color. I really like this color. It's a little darker than what I originally thought, like compared to the tube, I think. It's just a really kind of mid-tone brown type of color, but it's really nice. Okay, so this is the final look. It's a glowy summer makeup look, but also we are testing out some new products. Overall, I loved a lot of the brushes I tried. My lashes are sticking together when I blink. Damn it! Okay. Just, wow. Wow, really quickly, the only brush I didn't really love was this number 3 brush from the Rose Quartz set. This is the tapered highlighter brush. It's just not the shape I prefer for highlighter brush. I can't even concentrate right now. Okay, well, while I'm distracted by this, when I blink, my lashes are sticking together, and then when I open my eyes, it's pulling my lower lashes like up and still sticking together. Well, that's disappointing. Okay, everything else. The brow pencil, I think my brows look pretty good. It's not a color I would have chosen, but actually it matches my hair pretty well. I typically go for something a little less warm. This is a very rough pencil though. It broke as I was filling in my eyebrows. That's how rough and like how it was tugging at my skin. So not my favorite, but not something I'm going to immediately throw in the garbage. Like maybe this. This Jonteblu eyeliner is fine. It works. It's definitely pretty dry. It is in the shade dark brown. I find wooden liners to be dry typically, and that's only $5, so you can't really go wrong. The blush palette is amazing. I can't wait to try that more. Really impressed with this foundation so far, but foundations are definitely something I need to wear more than once and keep an eye on throughout the day. The concealer, I mean, it didn't blow me away. It wasn't my favorite, but actually it has not creased yet. So that says something. It's not the highest coverage, but I love how it was so brightening. So I will continue to play around with that. And then I loved the Ciate bamboo bronzer. I really like the shade of it on my skin tone. So overall it was, I mean, pretty 50-50. There's 4 new products I tried that I really loved and 3 that I didn't like slash, you know, they're fine. Oh, I didn't touch on this, so I guess that means 5 products I liked. I do like this OFRA liquid lipstick. I like the color of it. It's not really what I was fully expecting. It's a little darker than I was expecting. That completes this makeup look. If you enjoyed it, please do give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!